Let me give you guys a quick recap of Chelsea's season. They got new American owners who ended up sacking Thomas Tuchel, a coach who won them the Champions League, by the way. Now, don't get me wrong, Graham Potter is a decent coach, but Chelsea are 7th in the Premier League. They're not playing good football as well, and I think they need a bit of fixing. And that's where I come in. I'm going to be fixing this Chelsea team and making them the world's best club. First thing is, Chelsea boss, we need to do is just assess the squad we've got. And that's exactly what I did. And I quickly realized we need to go to a 4-2-3-1 formation. I cannot deal with a 5 at the back system. And I actually made a fair few changes tactically. We're going to have Aubameyang to lead the line. I want Kai Havertz to play that traditional number 10 role. I feel like that role in football these days isn't there, but a player like Kai Havertz fits that perfectly, so we're going to give this a go. Mason Mount left wing is what I'm going to try and build towards. I don't know if he can pull it off with 74 pace, but we'll see. I feel like we're blessed to have Raheem Sterling because he can play on the left, on the right. He's going to be amazing. And the rest of the squad has a lot of talent too. And N'Golo Conte is there. Koulibaly at the back. The experience of Thiago Silva. And even a really solid bench. Trust me, this Chelsea team has got the potential to even win the league title in the first season itself. Of course, we'll still have to make our mark improving this team because that's what all good managers do. And the new American owners are backing us with about 145 million to spend. But that looks a lot of money. But you know how quickly money just flows when you're looking to sign players. Over 65% of you guys watching this video right now haven't subscribed, so I'd appreciate if you could sub so we can hit 600k as soon as possible. My first major decision at the club is going to be to say goodbye to Cesar Azpilicueta. I know he's like one of the club captains, but since we're moving to a 4-back formation, I do not see the value of keeping him. He anyway wanted to join Barcelona briefly. It's time to say goodbye to a club legend. In other news, I want to give Thiago Silva another season, but I want to sign a world-class centre-back because I'm not too sure if Thiago Silva can maintain that level throughout the season. Plus, he's got 52 sprint speed. Someone like Haaland will bully him. And so we head into the market to sign a centre-back. And the player I've chosen for this centre-back position is actually an incredible player, once again from Serie A, but we'll have to negotiate with Inter for him. Yes, it's Milan Skriniar, 27 years old, in his prime. Him and Koulibaly together. Oh, my days would be insane. Now, because his contract's expiring, I'm gonna think 50 million should actually do the deed. They want Mateo Kovacic in a swap deal. Makes sense. I'm pretty sure Kovacic did play for Inter. Since we've got Jorginho and Conor Gallagher, I actually don't mind this. It took me a while to decide whether this was the right deal or not, but I think we're gonna run with it. And there you go. Negotiations have gone smoothly, and we've signed Milan Skriniar. I think that is a really, really big upgrade to our defense. He's gonna be the future to replace Thiago Silva when the time is right. Can't lie, I think we got this for good value. You guys must be thinking, why give away Mateo Kovacic? The answer is simple. We had Jorginho for that role, and also Conor Gallagher. I want to build Gallagher up to being a top-class midfielder for us, so had to sacrifice Kovacic. Meanwhile, time to put Skriniar into that starting 11. Although we've got about 127 million left, I've made a decision to not actually make any more signings this window. Like, I think Chelsea made good signings in real life before me, so I think the squad is really good. Skriniar was, I feel, what this team was lacking. We've fixed that. Now, let's get on the pitch and see how we can do and then assess in January. Meanwhile, player sales, we're still working on them. Azpilicueta has been sold, and you'd be shocked to know which club. Yes, he's actually moving to Bayern Munich. I think he deserves a move like this in the final stages of his career. It's now time to kick off our Premier League season, and there's a lot to look at. We need to see if our new tactics are actually going to work. Mason Mount at left wing is a big decision. That lack of pace is going to cost him. I want to see if Kai Havertz does well in his role. Aubameyang is also a bit of a finicky one. I'm not sure if keeping him was the right choice, but we'll find out in these next few games. Milan Skriniar is making his debut in this one. First game in the Premier League season. The result is, of course, important, but more than that, I want to see if our new tactics are working, if Mount and Havertz are enjoying in their new positions. And you know what? At least Mason Mount is. Mason Mount, so good from Mason Mount. Oh my days. 1-0 Chelsea. And soon after, we found Kai Havertz doing his thing too. Oh, there goes King Kai Havertz. Come on. Easy chance for him. makes it look so easy. Oh, that is a lovely finish. Havertz and Mount are flying in their new roles. And look at that. This man can do a breakdance as well. First game of our Premier League season, we pick up a dub. And I think we figured out the best way to play with Chelsea. The team was flowing. And with Skriniar, we kept a clean sheet too. And defensively, no problemo. Today's video is sponsored by myself. Yes, if you guys want to get Xbox or PSN codes to get FIFA 23, FIFA points, or basically whatever you want, check out s2g.shop. We've got you covered. You can use S2G10 at checkout to get yourself a 10% off as well.
Back to you in the studio.
The momentum was with us in our next few Premier League games, and Mount and Havertz were just enjoying their football. Mason Mount. See Kai Havertz. Oh, it's superb. It's absolutely brilliant. These two are simply sensational. Look at that. Mount can now officially become a left winger. We need to put him on a development plan to boost that pace. Jorginho, Havertz. Easy stuff. He can score with both feet. Just surreal. We soon had Jurgen Klopp come into our offices to have a chat about a potential player they want to sign. And I'm not surprised. It's Mason Mount. They've been seeing him play and they want to sign him. I told them, if you guys can give me 250 million for Mason Mount, okay, then you can have him. But of course, he didn't agree and, well, we kicked him out.
Very disappointed. That's not possible.
After 3 games in the Premier League, things were looking pretty okay for us. But the one issue I've got is Aubameyang. He's going down in his overall. Didn't score a single goal in his first 3 games. And sadly, because we're on deadline day, I don't think it's the right time to look for a new striker. Because I think I'm convinced we will need a new striker. But anyways, that's deadline day done. Whatever squad we've got, we need to work with that. And hopefully we can achieve a lot of success. Just as we got out of the transfer window, you can't write this stuff. Aubameyang got injured and we didn't even get time to sign a new striker. This is so frustrating, but I think you gotta expect stuff like this for the 33-year-old. Aubameyang out for the next 6 weeks. Now, we've got a couple of options. One is to kind of unsettle the formation we've got and make Kai Havertz striker. He'll do a great job, I think. The other option is to trust this kid, Armando Broja from Albania. Apparently one of the fastest players. Well, not according to EA, but he is. Trusting a 75 rated player up top is risky, but that's the kind of decisions as a manager I would want to make. And yes, we're going to do that. We really don't have many more alternatives though. And would you believe it, the first game Armando Broja is going to play with us is going to be against Spurs. If he's the real deal, I think he'll score in this game. You'd think a 21-year-old will be nervous for a game like this, but Armando Broja, nerves of steel. Look at what he did. Havertz, looking for Mount. Sees Broja inside. No way! He's actually scored! On his debut, within minutes, he scored against Spurs. If one goal wasn't enough, on his debut, Broja bags another one. Mason Mount, lovely ball for Broja. Oh, that is just superb. That is just superb. The perfect run from Broja. And with that performance against Spurs, I was convinced Armando Broja is going to be the man to replace Aubameyang, at least until he's fully fit. It was now time to see how we would be faring in the Champions League. Mason Mount, lovely ball for Kai Havertz, gets it under control. Just class. These two, when they get together, unstoppable. Fair to say we've had an okay start to the Champions League. We drew our first game against Milan and we won our second game, but it's going to be very tight. But soon after that Champions League game, Edouard Mendy suffered a broken ankle injury and he'll be out for 3 months. What is that? I cannot stress enough how big of a loss that is. We're going to have to trust Kepa in goal for basically the next 3 months. That basically means we're not going to have Mendy for the entire month of November, December, halfway through January as well. First Aubameyang, now Edouard Mendy. We've lost 2 of our first team starters. But you know what? We can't make an excuse. Injuries are part of this sport. We need to still keep winning, and our next game is against Manchester United. Even with all the injuries, can we still show up? Sterling. Good ball for Kai Havertz. Bro, that is insane. Kai Havertz in that number 10 role is basically like a shadow striker or something. He just makes the best runs. Kai Havertz. Lovely ball for Raheem Sterling, and Sterling joins the party. We see him score, and that goal should sink Manchester United. And even with all the injuries, we find ourselves top of the league. 8 wins, 1 draw. Unbelievable start to the season. But of course, things are going well for our first team, but there are a lot of players completely unhappy. Among them, Thiago Silva. Can I blame him? I can't. We replaced him with Skriniar, and I can't tell you how good Skriniar and Koulibaly are together. So Thiago Thiago Silva has missed out. He submitted a transfer request. He wants to leave mid-season. And guess who have come with an offer for him? It's Manchester City. And I do not want to hold Thiago Silva back. We'll let him leave. He's going to be joining our rivals. And yes, the deal is complete. Thiago Silva's been sold. It'll be official in January. We did end up dropping a few points on the way because, of course, we don't have Mendy. Aubameyang is still unfit. So Arsenal leapfrogged us, but it's still very, very tight. I mean, we've got the same points. But back in the Champions League, all we need is a win against AC Milan, and we've guaranteed top spot. Also, for this game, I decided to use the likes of Pulisic, Cucurella, and Fofana, Conor Gallagher even, to just see what they're all about. To be honest, with the lead we've got in the group, this game didn't matter, but our players still went for it, and we produced one of the best goals you'll ever see. Oh my god! Kai Havertz is something else. I did not expect him to pull this off. That might be the best goal we've scored. Just look at that from Kai Havertz. How did he pull that off? And with that, guys, top spot in the group had been secured, and we've got a game in hand. I actually then made another big decision, and that's making Cucurella our starter. I don't know, in the games I've played with him, he just feels a bit better. I mean, we'll see this for a month and see how it fares. Our next game, though, is a potential title decider, but it's too early to call it that. Arsenal versus Chelsea, both teams in same points. And you know who's back for this game? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I think we need to play him in this game. He's not fully fit, I'd say, but you know what? We've got to play him. Guys, have you all seen that clip of Aubameyang saying it's nothing personal about Arsenal?
Arsenal, nothing personal.
Bro, after all that, Arsenal ended up beating Chelsea, and we had, I think, Gabriel Martinelli tweeting about the nothing personal thing. It was hilarious.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This is the Aubameyang versus Mikel Arteta game. I don't care if Aubameyang's never going to score again for us. He needs to score this one. So far this season, even with all the injuries on the pitch, we've been great. But this game against Arsenal, they're giving us a reality check. Oh no, Gabriel Jesus is through, and defensively, we're completely washed. What are we doing? Kepa couldn't stop that. Arsenal take the lead. After Arsenal's goal, we did pick things up, and there was one player in this team who wants to score more than anyone else. Aubameyang, yo, what was that from Aubameyang? Against his former club, Aubameyang has just scored that. Nothing personal, but my god, he made it look like that was personal because he just destroyed them. Aubameyang's moment of magic inspired the team, and look what happened next. Whoa, that's actually gone in. Yo, Mason Mount, I know he loves Ronaldo, but he's just literally replicated what Ronaldo does, although it didn't look as good, but we don't care. We're leading against Arsenal. The win against Arsenal was the catalyst we needed, and we find ourselves top of the league come January. Although Liverpool, Arsenal, and even City are still in the fight. We're now in the January transfer window, and the American money flowing in means we can sign pretty much anyone we want. I was initially thinking we need to go for a new striker and replace Aubameyang, but then after what he did against Arsenal, I'm thinking having him as part of the squad makes sense. He might not be able to play every single game, but he could be that moments kind of player we need off the bench. And I genuinely feel like Armando Broja is the perfect player for the job up top. Call me crazy, I know he's only scored 5 goals, but look at the others. Because of Broja, Havertz, Mount, and Sterling are having a ridiculous season. Broja just runs around like a maniac and just provides them with space. He is the perfect team player. And apparently in the dressing room, Aubameyang and Broja have become good mates, and Aubameyang is more than willing to mentor him. So I think regarding the striker situation, we keep it as is. In other news, guys, Mendy's back from his injury. Kepa goes back to the bench, but he's done a good job. Honestly, I think we're going to have a pretty slow transfer window because I think I'm very happy with the squad. We did have a few contract negotiations to sort out, and N'Golo Kanté. Now, we haven't mentioned Kanté much, but he's the kind of player who makes your team tick, and I don't see his level dropping. He's been really great at CDM. I want to renew him. Same wages as before, and I think N'Golo Kanté should re-sign with us. That's sorted too. You know you're doing things right when you've had like a pretty boring transfer window. Nothing really changed. No players wanted to leave. It was all smooth. We're ready for the season ahead. The perfect environment to win titles. With all the transfer shenanigans out of the way, we can focus on what matters, and that's the knockout rounds of the Champions League. We topped our group, of course, and that means we're going to be up against Juve. Initially, I was a bit scared, but then I realized this Juventus team is horrendous. In real life, they even got knocked out of the Champions League, so I'm not worried. Especially now that we've got our first choice keeper back. And just as I said, it wasn't that I was underestimating Juventus. They're not the same side they were 5-6 years ago. Oh, Broja's just broken through. He's one of the fastest players on the planet. There is no catching him, and he's got the finishing ability as well. That's why I put my faith in this young kid. Broja again. He sees Sterling completely open, unselfish, and that should sink Juventus. Job done in the Champions League so far, but we now have a chance to win a trophy. It's the Carabao Cup final against Spurs. But we had a massive problem. Our entire first team completely exhausted. That Champions League game was draining. So yes, in a cup final, I've had to rotate my squad massively. We're seeing the likes of Gallagher, Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech even play, but it's something I've got to do to keep the squad fit. We have a lot of bench players starting this game in the hopes of creating history for Chelsea, and one such player is Pulisic, and look what he does. From a set piece, and we've actually scored. It's Pulisic, the American dream in the Carabao Cup final, ends up scoring. And it's done. That Pulisic goal is enough to give us our first trophy, and that's the Carabao Cup. I'm so glad the bench players got a chance to shine, and this is the first of many. Meanwhile, we gotta still keep the focus on the Premier League because we've got a genuine chance of winning the league, though. Right now, Liverpool are running away with it. We're 4 points behind. We've got a game in hand, but that game in hand is against Man City. We need to win this game. And it's actually crazy. If they win their game, they'll be 2 points off the top. This is one of the craziest title races I've ever seen. Also, I think I've made my decision on who should be starter between Cucurella and Chilwell. It's Ben Chilwell. He's just the better player, and he's proved me wrong. Cucurella goes back to the bench. We're at Stamford Bridge to play Man City, and this is as must win as a game gets. We get a penalty to start this one off. A chance to take the lead in this must-win game, and it's one of the best penalty takers in the world, Jorginho. Of course he's gonna score. Doesn't have the run-up in game though, but that's fine. 1-0. Huge win for us in the Premier League, boys. Come on. Jorginho's penalty helps it. And that puts us back in the game. Just 1 point separating us and Liverpool. Earlier, you probably remember we knocked out Juventus from the Champions League, but now we've drawn Atletico Madrid. And look at the other teams in this competition. I reckon we've got a shot at winning it this season. The first leg was being played in Madrid, and they were so defensive. But on the breakaway, this happened. Okay, why is Antoine Griezmann through like that? This is not good. And Griezmann scores. Have we underestimated Atletico Madrid? I think we have. We tried so hard, but we just couldn't score, and the first leg ended in a 1-0 defeat. But fear not, we've got the game at the Bridge to turn things around. The game at the Stamford Bridge was so tight. Atleti knew they only had to defend, and this game rested upon one good chance. Here's Broja. Proper chance. Releasing it for Mason Mount. Noise, guys, in. We didn't take our chance, boys, and we get knocked out. Champions League dream this season is over. I just don't think this team was ready to win the Champions League. I mean, with Broja up top, he still has a lot of improvement. Even players like Mount need to get a lot better. I won't say anything about Havertz because he's unreal. But yeah, we'll be back again next season. Right now, we sacrifice everything for the Premier League. We're almost at the end of the season, folks. And look at this. It's 1 point separating us and Liverpool. They've got the advantage over us. They lead us by 1 point. But you know what? That actually does not matter at all. Because in our final Premier League game of the season, we play Liverpool. I've never seen a circumstance like this. This is basically a Premier League final. Whoever wins this basically is going to be champions of England. Our entire season comes down to this. Can we win the Premier League? All we need to do is beat this Liverpool team at home in front of our fans. I knew this game was going to be one of the toughest we've ever played, but with the fans behind us, things will get easier as we have the first chance of the game. Broja versus Virgil van Dijk. He's so quick. He's actually so quick, and you can't write this. Broja is the man to score in this Premier League finale. We trusted him, and look at what he's done for us. Incredible. Soon after that goal, Raheem Sterling had the chance to kill this game off against his former club. Oh, Sterling has just sold Virgil van Dijk. Raheem Sterling deserved a goal. In the second half, Liverpool were looking likely to score, but then Havertz just pulled this off. Well, looks like Havertz wants to go on a bit of a solo run, and he's got the pace to pull it off. Kai Havertz, what a run, and what a goal. Bro, he's been the star man in this Chelsea fixing challenge, and he's the one to finish Liverpool off. Surely that gets us the title. And it's done. We've become the best team in England. 2 trophies in our first season with Chelsea. Come on. Haaland managed to win the Golden Boot with 21 goals, but look at Kai Havertz from Cam scoring 17. He was clutch. And look at Mount, top assister along with Salah. I don't think season 1 could have gone any better. Season 2 though, we're going for that Champions League. We've become the best team in England, but the goal is to become the best team in the world, and to do that, we need to win the Champions League. For season 2, our squad, I think, is still looking good. Last season, if we were a bit lucky, I think we would have been able to win the Champions League, but this season, we have to. No excuses. Mason Mount is adapted to left wing. Havertz is loving it at Cam. Sterling's been super enjoyable to use. Our midfield is clicking as well. The defense is solid. The first team is incredible. But there is one thing we can improve the squad upon, and that's Armando Broja. We've got him up top. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. But to win the Champions League, do we need someone better? We've got 178 million to spend, so we can use that. But you know what? I thought about it a lot, and I just feel like with player growth, he might just become the striker we need him to become. So should we give a chance to Armando Broja again this season to lead the line? I think he's got what it takes. So we're not going to sign a new striker. Broja's going to be first choice. Aubameyang's going to be backup. We also have Romelu Lukaku, to be honest, at the club, but I'm just going to sell him. Another player coming back from his loan spell is Ethan Ampadu. I like that because he'll give us a backup option for N'Golo Conte. He needs a new contract. Let's give him one. There you go. Guys, I think we've just scammed Spurs. I've sold Romelu Lukaku to Spurs. You won't believe for how much money. Guys, we legit sold him for 76.9 million. This is hilarious.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I was perfectly happy with our squad and ready to just get the season underway, but then Jorginho was sold. We had an offer coming from Atletico Madrid. I spoke to Jorginho and he wanted to live life in Spain for his latter parts of his career. He's 31. He wants to experience a new league. I felt like, you know what, we just gotta let him. But now that means this 300 million that we've got can go all in on a midfielder. Well, we won't need the entire money, but I want to sign another Italian, and that's Sandro Tonali. Bro, I think he legit would fit perfectly in Jorginho's role. He can do all what he does, and he's also a lot faster and more dynamic, so I'm willing to spend whatever it takes. Now, I know you might be thinking he comes in as a CDM, but I'm pretty sure he can be converted to a CM. No problem whatsoever, but we've just been kicked out of the negotiation table. Well, this is going to be tricky. No way. Guys, I think we bottled it. I think we bottled the signing of Sandro Tonali. Why? Because now we're on transfer deadline day and I just can't seem to put in another offer. We bottled it. We need to now look for another midfielder. Good thing is I have another player in mind, and that is PSG's Vitinha. He's got a reasonable release clause, and I think I might just pay it and get this done with. Are we going to be able to steal Vitinha right under PSG's noses? They probably don't even know we're negotiating for him because we just paid his release clause. Everything's done. We'll give him a wage bump as well, and that should convince him. There you go. Welcome to Chelsea, Vitinha. Out of nowhere, we've signed him. And that's it. Our squad is ready for the season ahead with Vitinha in the lineup. Let's go out there and win the Champions League. That's what this season is all about. The group stage draw has been made, and we've got a pretty reasonable group. Like, Juventus is going to be tough, but the other two teams, we can get through them. Our first game in the Champions League was against Juventus, and we need to start off the group with a win. Sterling. Bringing it inside back for Havertz. Simple football. King Kai Havertz at it again in the new season. As we were going through the season, Reece James picked up a knock and it was a pulled quad, and that made me realize we don't really have a backup right back. Now for our next Champions League game, what do? We could play Cucurella right back, but I just don't think that works. I'm probably going to play Fofana at right back, which I don't know how good that will be. But yeah, this just shows in January we need to spend to get some depth in that position. On the pitch though, this season, Armando Broja came alive. Oh, Broja's broken through and he's quick. He is really quick. And a solid finish as well. Early goal for Broja. Havertz looking for Broja. The pace is there. Can he finish though? Goes for it. I mean, he has become a lethal finisher this season. And so we're done with the group stages with literally a perfect record. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, although we're 6th in the league, we're only 5 points off the top, so I'm not too worried. But guys, the decision to trust in Armando Broja has paid off. Bro, he scored up by 4 ratings. He scored 24 times. This man is the real deal. And also the supporting cast he's got with Havertz, Sterling, and Mount. It's the dream scenario. Okay, we're now in January, and there's only one signing I want to make before we get into our quest to win the Champions League. So I have gone ahead and signed a right back, an unorthodox option. I've gone for Kieran Trippier. You might be thinking, what a silly transfer. He's 33 years old, but trust me, we just need a backup right back, someone who's fairly high rated. Trippier gives us all of that. Trust me, guys, the experience he's going to give us in the dressing room, I think it'll be worth it, because ultimately Reece James is still going to be the main man. We're now ready to continue our Champions League journey against Leverkusen. I hate to say it, but we did underestimate Bayer Leverkusen, and there was a reason for that. We crushed them. Havertz sliding this one for Mason Mount, opens up his body. There you go. Mason Mount scores. After the first goal, we kept pushing, and look what happened. Armando Broja. Yo, we can end this game. He's got the strength. What? Penalty? Okay, this is interesting. I think we just got a penalty for shirt pulling. No Jorginho to take penalties. I think it's got to be Kai Havertz then. Can Havertz convert his penalty? Nope. Bro, that's the worst pen ever. That miss is going to give Leverkusen the momentum. We cannot allow that. Havertz, though, looking for Broja. He should get the goal. And there you go. Finally, the goal to kill the tie. At the end, we managed to beat them 2-1. A good result for the first leg. But an issue, Broja is suspended for the second leg. He's been the man. Missing him is going to be huge. It's time for Aubameyang to prove his worth as a backup striker. If Leverkusen thought without Broja we're not going to be good, well, they've got something coming at them. Aubameyang looking for Kai Havertz, setting him up so well. Aubameyang's doing the job. So is Kai Havertz. And then to kill off the tie, we saw what Aubameyang was all about. 34 and he still got it. Okay, Aubameyang, he's still got that pace. Has he got that finish though? Oh, and he has. Aubameyang still got it. What a player. The quarterfinals, we got quite possibly the most difficult draw. But if we want to win the Champions League, we need to be able to knock teams like them. This was such a tight game of football. We finally got our first chance in the 60th minute. Sterling, we might finally have the breakthrough. Raheem Sterling with a cross. Broja's header saved. Oh, we kept pushing in this game and finally we got our moment. Here goes Kai Havertz breaking through. Can he score against Madrid? Of course he can. Kai Havertz, the bigger the opponent, the bigger the goal. First leg, we managed to beat Madrid 1-0 at the Bernabeu, but there was a bit of a problem. One of our players got an injury. It's an injury for Vitinha. It's the classic broken toe injury. It's painful, and he's out for the next couple of months. If we look at his stats, he's not contributed that much, but he's the kind of player who just helps the midfield tick. There's only one player that can replace him right now, and that is Conor Gallagher. Big responsibility for him. And for that second leg against Madrid, we've got the advantage. Let's settle this. This game was Conor Gallagher's chance to arrive for Chelsea. And all he's got to do is help us keep possession and move the ball. And that he did brilliantly. Here's Conor Gallagher looking to move the ball around. Smart passing. Hitting one. Still Gallagher. Not doing anything stupid. Rotating the ball. That's what we need from him. There's Gallagher maybe wanting to shoot, but goes for a simple pass for Broja. And that has resulted in a goal. Conor Gallagher set him up for that. Superb stuff. 1-0 Chelsea. All we needed was one more goal in this game, and Madrid are heading back on their plane, heading home. Sterling chipping this one for Broja. It's simple football, but so effective. Real Madrid are heading home. Next up in the Champions League for us is Inter. Look at how crazy this is. 3 Serie A teams in the semi-finals, which I think gives us a good chance of winning it all. To be among the best strikers in the world, you've got to deliver on the big stage, and this is what Broja did today. Mason Mount has gone through. I see a crossing opportunity. It's a brilliant ball. Armando Broja is the perfect striker. Oh, Broja, that first touch was class. And the finish as well. He is the ultimate striker. Broja, and it's a hat-trick for him. Inter are done. Armando Broja has produced one of the greatest Champions League performances ever. And so it is Roma will be facing in the Champions League final. It's funny how we'll have to beat the special one to become champions of Europe. We couldn't win the Premier League, sadly, this season. Man United won it, but that's because our focus was solely on becoming European winners. The stats of Broja this season are just outrageous, and especially everyone in our attack, they all delivered. Broja has already won the Champions League Golden Boot. Of course, now it completely depends whether we can win the trophy or not. But football really is a cruel sport. Conor Gallagher picked up an injury as well. Now, both our midfielders, Conor Gallagher and Vitinha, out for the Champions League final. Vitinha will recover in a week, but he's not fit to play right now. What do? We don't have a midfielder for the Champions League final. Now, I could play Ethan and Pardew or Loftus-Cheek there, but I don't see the point. We're gonna have to change our formation. I'm seriously worried. What on earth is this formation that we're playing? But I feel like it's the only way to try and just put up a competitive 11. I'm gonna play Aubameyang up top in this game. Conte, Havertz in midfield. 2 strikers, 2 wingers, super aggressive. On the other hand, look at Roma's formation. They're as aggressive as it gets. This is gonna be chaotic. Well, let's go out there and win that trophy. Mourinho's team had completely set up to defend. We had to use Conte to get a chance. The 4 players and goal of Conte finding a bit of space. What a save. Finally, in the second half, it looked like we were going to get the breakthrough. Aubameyang looking for Broja. Oh, it's brilliant. It is, of course, the mentor assisting the student. Aubameyang and Broja. What a story it is. First season, Aubameyang was supposed to be the starter. He was. But then Broja came along and Aubameyang was more than willing to mentor him. And now in the Champions League final, he has scored the goal, assisted by Aubameyang. Just superb. I thought once we got our goal, they're going to get demoralized, but the complete opposite happened. Oh, Tammy Abraham with the chance and roof of the net. Against this former club, Roma have scored. Tammy Abraham has scored. Just after Roma scored, Mason Mount picked up the ball straight from kickoff and pulled this off. Mason Mount here in his new role. Going for it. Oh, Mason Mount. No, you can't write this. That is a wonder goal in a Champions League final out of nowhere. Who would have thought? Could that be the goal that wins it all for us? And that's that, boys. We've made Chelsea the world's best club. This project was amazing. The ups and downs, fighting through all the injuries and everything. And we pulled it off at the end. If you enjoyed me fixing Chelsea, I'm sure you'll enjoy me fix Manchester United. Click somewhere here to watch that.